Everyone, I am Anjali Jagwani. Today I am going to teach Organization of Commerce for 11th Commerce, the first chapter. But before that, I would like you all to please subscribe my YouTube channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram. That is my page, Creative to Create. I'll also share the description of it. Now that I'm going to start teaching the first chapter, that is for OC 11th Commerce. And here we go. That is the first chapter is Introduction of Business and Commerce that we are going to study. So the first chapter over here, which is talking about commerce and business. So first over here, we need to understand over here that we in day to day, every day, we are over here indulge in some kind of activities. Now over here, they have told us about the non-economic activities and economic activities. Now, non-economic activities, the basic example of non-economic activities is in our homes, our mother doing works and she's not being paid for that work, that is cooking, for taking care of others and everything that comes under non-economic activities, I would say. And to go as per the textbook, non-economic activities are those human activities which are performed to satisfy personal. Okay, so these are performed to satisfy personal, social, religious, cultural, and sentimental requirements without monetary expectation. The basic line over here is that is non-economic activity is actually any activity that is performed for which you don't get in return the money, the worth of it. So the reading books, serving people, cooking by mother are also examples of such things. And the NGOs which are run, which are not being paid are also example of such things. Now coming to the economic activities, now economic activities is over here classified into business activities, professional activities, and employment activities. Now coming over here to first thing, now over here we'll see what is given as economic activities. Economic activities that involve production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services for money or money's worth at all levels within a society is called economic activity. Now over here, the money or money's worth is involved. So the best difference is that over there you don't get any monetary returns and over here you get the monetary returns. This is one of the important difference between a non-economic activity and the economic activity. Now the economic activities involve production, distribution, consumption of goods and services. Economic activities are widespread. People who are doing business, different businesses, people who are providing services are also doing economic activities, and people who are employed are also under economic activities because they are also paid for their employment services. Now, moving further over here in economic activities, the first thing which is given is the business over here. That is, they have told now the business is basically what? That is, producing certain products and then distributing it, marketing it, selling it, or just trading is also business. That is, buying and selling is also business. That is, in exchange of a certain product or certain service, you are getting the profit, you're getting the money. That is business, we can say. Now over here what they have said is that business represents organized efforts by an individual or group of individuals. Now this is important that the efforts could be of an individual or group of individuals. So when it is individual, we call this as proprietorship, and when it is group of individuals, it is in partnership or a company which is doing business. So it is a systematic attempt by business persons to produce goods and services. So production is one of the part of producing goods and services of business. And then what they do, that those services or goods are sold in the market. For what purpose are they sold? So they are sold for the purpose of profit. It satisfies multiple and complex needs of the society. Production of the goods actually means making of goods. It may be agricultural product or and finished goods product produced in factories. Goods can be produced with the manpower or with the help of machines. So now as the technology has increasing day by day, we know that machines are also able to do a lot of work. So the production could be machine made or man made, whichever is there, and it could be agricultural product or it could be other finished products which we get in the market. For example, cultivating a piece of land is also an activity over here, and growing food grains is an example of agricultural production given over here. However, converting oil seeds into edible oil with the help of manpower as well as machine power is an example of manufacturing of the goods. Okay, so over here, this is production. What first example is talking about the production, that is producing the food grains on a land is the production activity, whereas converting oil seeds into edible oil is a manufacturing activity over here they have described. So distribution includes, now once the production or manufacturing is being done, then the next part under the business comes is the distribution. Now that production or that good which is manufactured includes marketing of goods and services. So in right marketing is required for any product or service so that it reaches to a large volume of people and at a good price and also it involves now marketing and distribution. How, what does it involve? Now wherever this product, ये product जहाँ पे भी produce हुआ है, manufacture वहाँ है, वहाँ से ये market में right people के पास, जो people मतलब ना जहाँ पे डिमांड है इस चीज की वहां तक उसको पहुंचने के लिए मार्केटिंग लगेगा, विच इन्वॉल्व्स ट्रांसपोर्ट, वेयर हाउसिंग. मतलब फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सपोज ना एक प्रोडक्ट है जो महाराष्ट्र में प्रोड्यूस हुआ है, ना इट इज रिक्वायर्ड कि वो और दूसरे स्टेट्स में भी जाए, सो यू हैव टू ट्रांसपोर्ट दैट. नाउ व्हेन यू आर ट्रांसपोर्टिंग दैट इट आल्सो रिक्वायर्स वेयर हाउसिंग, प्रॉपर वेयर हाउसिंग फैसिलिटीज टू स्टोर दैट, जब तक वो वहां पे पहुंचे राइट पर्सन तक, यू हैव टू आल्सो स्टोर दोस गुड्स. सो द मार्केटिंग involves, the distribution involves transport, warehousing and advertising, which facilitates transfer of goods from producer to the final consumer. Now why advertising? How will people know कि ये product है, ये service है या ये गुड्स है जो मैन्युफैक्चर है और अवेलेबल है मार्केट में, ये पता चलने के लिए एडवर्टाइजिंग बहुत जरूरी है. So there's a lot of advertisement cost nowadays. People, those who run business, are involved in making. So distribution includes marketing of goods and services. It involves transport, warehousing, and advertising, which facilitates transfer of goods from producer to the final consumer. So this is the basic activity in business. Ki first of all, a good is produced or a finished product is being manufactured, and then it has to be distributed properly. It has to be marketed properly to reach the final consumer, and then the sales takes place. So over here, this is the basic business ideology which has been provided. Now there are two definitions of business over here given. The first definition, which is stated by Professor Haney, that is business activities are all those human activities which are directed towards the production and processing of wealth. So human activity, now this we have seen first only कि every human is performing an activity. It is either an economic activity or a non-economic activity, and when it is an economic activity, in that this is a business activity, and this business activity that is there is just to earn profits, just to earn wealth. Nobody is doing this for non-monetary benefits, because if something is done for no benefits, no monetary benefits, then it is a non-economic activity. So in simple words, Professor Haney has said that business activities are all those human activities which are directed towards the production and processing of wealth. Now, second definition over here, that is Professor Pride, Hugs and Kapoor. The organized efforts of individuals to produce and sell for a profit the goods and services that satisfy society's needs. Now, both the definitions are saying same thing, but the different terminologies are used. That is the only basic difference over here I can see. So once again, Professor Pride, Hugs and Kapoor have said that the organized efforts of individuals to produce and sell for a profit the goods and services that satisfy society's needs. This next part, which is given over here, is the features, the characteristics of business. And under that over here, the first characteristic of a business is an economic activity. So again हम लोग पहुंच गए, जो फर्स्ट चीज हमने डिस्कस की है कि इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी के क्लासिफिकेशन में पहली चीज जो है वो बिजनेस आती है. सो इट इज अ इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी. इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी मींस व्हाट? द एक्टिविटी व्हिच इज डन टू अर्न द मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट्स, टू अर्न द प्रॉफिट्स, टू अर्न द वेल्थ, that is an economic activity. So the first feature of business is it is clearly saying that it is an activity which is undertaken to earn money or livelihood, and it is not because of love, affection, feelings, sentiment, etc. क्योंकि अगर हम कोई चीज affection, sentiments में आके कर रहे हैं तो obviously हम उससे पैसा नहीं लेंगे, and that is not a business, that is not a economic activity as well, and अगर ऐसे business कोई run कर रहा है तो obviously is going to go into losses. So it is very important that an business is an economic activity and it should be done only for the purpose of earning profits. Now in business, the second feature says that two parties are involved. Two parties are involved means there's a buyer and there's a seller, or a producer and a distributor who is distributing ahead. So there are basically two parties so definitely involved are there. Only then the business can happen, only then a transaction can take place. So मतलब ना अगर मेरा शॉप है और मैं आपको सेल कर रही हूँ सपोज एक टीवी रिमोट, तो फिर वो परचेज करने के लिए सामने कोई चाहिए. सो ऑलवेज देयर आर टू पार्टीज, वन हैज टू बी अ बायर एंड अदर हैज टू बी अ seller. So every business transaction involves an exchange. Minimum two parties. There could be more than two parties. Suppose manufacturer is there, then there is this distributor in between, and then there is a wholesaler, and then there is a retailer, and then there is a consumer. This whole line is there definitely, but minimum two parties are involved. More parties can be involved in a business. Yes, definitely in a business more parties are involved, can be involved, but over here what we are saying is minimum two parties so definitely are involved. So minimum two parties are required for exchange, that is the seller and the buyer. Business transaction is a result of an agreement between the buyer and the seller, which may be oral or written. So it could be an oral agreement or it could be a written agreement, that is orally communicate किया फोन पे और आपने order जो आपको मिला फोन पे वो आपने दे दिया, या फिर ऑर्डर परचेस ऑर्डर आया आपके पास और उसके बेसिस पे आपने वो चीज दे दी और आपने एक बिल्स के साथ उसको दे दिया, तो रिटर्न वाला चीज हो गया ये. So it could be oral as well as a written agreement. Now the third feature of business is the profit motive. Yes, nobody does business if he or she does not have a profit motive. हर एक को अपना earnings करने हैं, profit बनाना है, successful बनना है, and इसीलिए business करते हैं. The basic purpose of business is to earn the profit from its activities, that is the selling price minus whatever cost is required is going to be the profit of that person. So the basic purpose of business is to earn profit from its activities, and businessmen try to maximize profits either by increasing volume of sales or reducing its cost. It is the spine of business which keeps the business going on in the long term. Yes, every businessman wants to increase its profit so that the business keeps on running in the long term. अगर profits increase नहीं होंगे तो फिर business बढ़ेगा नहीं, expand नहीं होगा, and it won't result in good returns. So the amount of profit may differ from business to business. Now the fourth feature is production of goods and services. So any business cannot be done until there is some product or there is some service to be provided. So before exchanging the goods and services, they should be produced by business enterprises. So any good or service that is there, which is to be produced first, and only then it could be sold further. So goods are either manufactured or procured from the supplier with the aim of selling it further to the consumers for profit. So either you are producing and then selling it, either you are manufacturing and then selling it, or either you are purchasing and then selling it. So all the three things are possible, and that is production of goods and service has to be there, and then only the further it could be sold. Then the fifth feature is exchange of goods and services. Business involves transfer of goods and services directly or indirectly with money or money's worth. Now, exchange of goods and services. So, monetary exchange is the exchange with money. For example, buying notebook for cash. So now over here, what they are saying, that is exchange of goods and services. That is पहले के जमाने में ना पैसा इतना नहीं होता था, and a very simple life was there. Someone is producing onions, someone is producing say potatoes, someone is a wheat producer. So what used to they do? I'll give you this much wheat, you give me this much potatoes. I'll give you this much onions, you give me this much wheat. This was such kind of barter exchange transactions were there. So this feature is inspired from there. So exchange of goods and services for monetary exchange could be there, or it could be the barter exchange of goods and services for some goods and services. For example, wheat is exchanged for rice, it is given away. So that is happened before. अभी भी बहुत सारे घरों में ऐसा हो सकता है कि वो करते हो. So if goods are produced for own consumption, now the further what they're saying that if goods are produced for own consumption, that is stitching a dress for a daughter, it cannot be called a business activity. But stitching a dress in a tailoring shop and taking stitching charges for that is a business activity. Similarly, if goods are donated or given as a gift, then it cannot be considered as a business activity. So if goods are, if you're stitching a dress for yourself, or you're doing some activity for yourself, or you're just donating or gifting someone, then that is not a business activity, because donating or gifting does not involve any monetary consideration which is going to come into return. So that is not a business activity. That is just a deed that you're doing of charity. You're exchanging things or something like that. So dealings in goods, and another feature, sixth feature of business over here given is dealings in goods and services. Every type of business transaction is concerned with either goods or services. In the absence of goods and services, business cannot take place. So obviously business जो है either वो goods का होगा या फिर कुछ services का होगा, जैसे maintenance services provide करते हैं हम लोग electronic goods के लिए. So if there has to be some good or there has to be some service जिसका business होगा. Without that, the business is not possible. So in the absence of goods and services, business cannot take place. These goods can be consumer goods or capital goods. अभी consumer goods क्या है जो हम day to day daily use में use करते हैं कि यार milk तो लगने ही वाला है, या फिर जो दूसरे products हमारे kitchen में basically लगते हैं, या टी मिल्क पेंसिल यहाँ पे एग्जाम्पल दिया है. एंड कैपिटल गुड्स आर लाइक फिक्स्ड एसेट्स जो हम लोग लॉन्ग टर्म यूज के लिए ले रहे हैं, जिसका हमारे डेली लाइफ से ज्यादा कुछ इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं होता है. ऐसे जो गुड्स होते हैं दोज आर कैपिटल गुड्स सच एज मशीनरी, प्लांट, फर्नीचर एक्सेट्रा. So, the business has to involve dealing in goods and services. That is necessary. The thing is that the goods can be the consumer goods, that is day-to-day use wale, या फिर can be capital goods which are required for long-term use, such as fixed assets. Any fixed assets are there. So that is there. So, however, services created for business purpose are intangible, which are essential for doing the business. For example, transportation, banking, and insurance services. Now, these services are day to day. Without banking service, तो अभी system चल ही नहीं सकता है. So much phone pay, Google Pay, everything is so much digitally used that without banking service, the business cannot run only. So these are the services which are involved in day to day, and these are the business services only, because bank is charging you for using its services. All the services you are going to pay them. So this is business for them. So banks are nothing but business activity, that is business service provider. Those are insurance, also same thing, and transportation is also a service which is being provided, because you're not exchanging goods, but you're providing a transportation service from place A to place B. Okay, and the few more features which over here we have to see, that is continuity in dealings. Now regularity in transactions is required, consistency transactions is required. एक महीने business हो रहा है, दूसरे महीने नहीं हो रहा है, तो तीसरे महीने funds ही नहीं रहेंगे उतने हमारे पास. मतलब you cannot be inconsistent. There has to be a regularity, there has to be continuity in dealings. You have to advertise it, and you have to provide proper time to time goods and services when required. So that is continuity in dealings is one of the basic important feature that is required. वरना एक दिन आप बोलोगे stock है, एक दिन बोलोगे stock नहीं है, so you will not retain customers, and when you not retain customers, then the business will start falling, and there will be losses, and there will be shutdown of the business. So I think this is one of the very important feature कि continuity in dealings होनी चाहिए. What they are saying is that every business requires regularity in transactions. One single transaction does not constitute business. For example, if a person sells his own motor car and earns profit, then it will not be considered as business activity. But if he is a car dealer, so he sells and purchases cars regularly, then it is considered as business activity. So regularly, car dealer, that is, he has to be a car dealer, then it is a business activity. But you are just selling one of your product, one of your car, and it is just for today you have to sell that, and then you are not having that thing, then that is not your business. That is just a transaction you're taking place today. Now, uncertain returns. Yes, uncertain returns are there, as there's a lot of competition in the market. अभी तो online भी इतना competition है. You have so many websites, you have so many products, and you have so many choices and so many variety in everything, that there's a lot of competition, and because of which there are uncertain returns in the market because of the competition, because of the evolving technologies, and everything is changing drastically. So their returns are not certain. That is 1 month there could be good business ki Diwali aa gayi, abhi acha business ho gaya. Yeah, this is some seasonal item such as raincoats or umbrellas in rainy season, तो फिर business अच्छा हो गया. So then again for the next period, how will be the returns? You don't. So in business, the returns are never predictable or guaranteed. Business may earn profit and can also suffer a loss. Suppose he has bought some products, abhi ye sell hi nahi hue, so obviously he is going to incur some loss, or he has to sell at the price that is without earning profits, or also below price sometimes. So that is why he is earning losses. He is actually suffering losses because प्रोडक्ट अगर परचेज कर लिया है एंड ये सेल तो करना ही है उसको, तो अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो he will suffer the losses, he will bear the losses. So that is the returns are not guaranteed. एक अगर प्रोडक्ट चल गया तो बहुत सारे प्रॉफिट्स आ जाते हैं, और एक प्रोडक्ट वहीं पे नहीं चला तो फिर लॉसेस आ जाते हैं. सो दिस इज ऑल अनसर्टन. The another feature is element of risk. Yes, every business comes with its own risk. There is a lot of risk, as now only I was saying that the market has become so drastic and the competition is there so much, and so much updates are there for every product or service. You have to be updated. So this is increasing actually the element of risk every day. Now, over here, what they're saying that risk is the key element of every business which is concerned with exposure to loss. It is due to some unfavorable or undesirable event. Every business will have some or the other risk. Intensity of risk can be minimized. Now they're saying that intensity of risk can be minimized but can't be avoided. So we can minimize the risk by planning some things कि ऐसा हो गया तो इसके लिए प्लान बी क्या है. यू कैन इंटेंसिफाई द रिस्क बट यू कैन नॉट अवॉइड द रिस्क. पूरी तरह से चीज ऐसी ही चलेगी और प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगा, ये कोई नहीं बोल सकता. यू कैन जस्ट मिनिमाइज द रिस्क. Certain factors are beyond the control of a businessman, like changes in consumer tastes, likes, dislikes, passions, changes in the methods of production, fire, theft, natural calamities, etc. So as if the stock आ गया, अगर आज ये फैशन में चल रहा है, सपोज अनारकली फैशन चल रहा है गर्ल्स के लिए, तो फिर वो ट्रेंड में आ जाता है, और एक बार वो ट्रेंड चला गया तो फिर दूसरा कुछ ट्रेंड में आ जाता है, जैसे प्लाजोज हो गए, फिर जीन्स कभी डिफरेंट वैरायटी के आ गई कोई थी, तो फिर इट कीप्स ऑन चेंजिंग. फिर वो अगर वो तुम्हारा सोल्ड आउट नहीं हुआ जब वो ट्रेंड चल रहा है, देन यू आर गोइंग टू बेयर लॉसेज, यू आर गोइंग टू बेयर दैट स्टॉक. एंड ऑल्सो अगर कोई नेचुरल कैलामिटी आ गई, अगर फायर रख गई आपके शॉप को या यहाँ पे भी आपका स्टॉक है, so again you are going to bear the loss, you are going to bear such factors. So such factors are going to happen, and as the consumer tastes are changing, as the climatic changes are happening, as the economic conditions are changing, such elements of risks will always be there. So it cannot be avoided. You can only minimize them by defining some plans for avoiding such risks, such as you can insure your stock for any natural calamity, or you can from whoever you purchase, you can have a agreement with that person ki this much is sold, and if this much is not sold in this time, I'll give it back to you. Such things can be possible to intensify, to minimize the risk. And the last that is over here, that is the feature of business, is the customer satisfaction. Because if the customer is not satisfied, then customer satisfaction is the ultimate aim of all economic activities. If the customer is only not satisfied, then he will never come back, and if he'll never come back, then there will be बाहर क्या हो जाता है कि एक कस्टमर अगर सेटिस्फाई नहीं हुआ ना, वो 10 लोगों को और बोलेगा कि यार इसने मुझे ये चीज बराबर से नहीं दी, या इसका प्राइसिंग बराबर नहीं है. फिर वो वर्ड ऑफ माउथ स्प्रेड हो जाता है मार्केट में, एंड देन वी कीप लूजिंग customers, not just one, then we keep losing more customers. So customer satisfaction is very important, and keeping a follow-up ki what they require, what is they are comparing, what are the requirements they want. If you keep that things in touch, then it becomes easy to run a business. So over here they are saying that customer satisfaction is the ultimate aim of all economic activities and business, and is not an exception to it. Modern business believes in satisfying the customers. by providing quality products and services at a reasonable price. The purpose of the business is to create and retain the customers. And how could you create and retain the customers? By providing a good advertisement for your products, by providing quality products, by providing quality services, by providing a follow-up, by providing a reasonable price. The price should be not such that it मतलब ऐसा लगे कि यार इसने तो बहुत ज्यादा प्राइसिंग किया, as per the market ये प्राइस नहीं चल रहा है ये प्रोडक्ट है ये सर्विस का. So you have to provide a reasonable price. You have to provide a quality goods and services. You should also follow up with them. You should keep a proper advertisement of your products and services. So this all will help in creating customer satisfaction. So this is all that I wanted to discuss for today. That is features of business we have discussed. I think once you should read it and then you will get to know more about it. So basically, features of business may, first of all, it is a economic activity. Then it involves a profit. Profit maximization should be there. Profit should be there. Then uncertain returns are there. Then there is a customer satisfaction is the ultimate objective without fail. We have to see that. Then there should be continuity in dealings. There's two parties are involved. Without two parties, minimum two parties involved. Without them, the things cannot happen. Then production of goods and services is there. Exchange of goods and services is there. That is a business can be done without monetary benefit only if you are exchanging any other goods or services, that is barter exchange is happening. So such are the features. And the element of risk. Risk is definitely going to be involved. You cannot avoid it in all. You can only minimize it. Thank you for listening me. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram. Thank you.